Okay, hi everybody. It is still Wednesday, April 15th, and I'm making this little video to just explain to you your next and final assignment for this class, which is to make a presentation about a sustainability technology or initiative of your choice. So basically throughout the semester, I'm looking at the syllabus over here on my other computer. Throughout the semester, we've looked at first, what is sustainability? Then what is the big picture of our planetary situation that has made moving towards sustainability such a priority? So we looked at understanding our predicament in terms of energy and the environment, in terms of inequalities in social systems, economic growth, all different kinds of topics that we covered in the first 2/3 of class. And then since spring break, we've been in the third piece of class, which is kind of applications, right? Solving sustainability. And so we've looked at so far, what are some sustainable solutions for issues in education, for issues in waste management, for issues in food systems. And this project, whoops, I have to plug in my computer, sorry about that. With this project, you are going to pick a sustainability technology or initiative that you find particularly interesting and present it to the rest of the class. So it's kind of like the sustainability news piece, except that where you're sharing something you're interested in with the class, except that it's much more in depth and it can't be on just anything at all. It has to meet certain qualifications. So what are those qualifications? If you look at this assignment guide that I put down here, you can look at that third paragraph. It's saying the definition of technology in the Oxford Dictionary is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. So I just want you to remember that technology doesn't mean it has to be digital or run by a motor, right? Technology, like a technology that sanitizes water and purifies water using solar rays, that's a technology, right? So broaden your definition of technology when you think about this. It's basically like any invention or any initiatives. So like the green building initiatives, the push through the LEED organization to create an incentive system for people to get certified with their buildings as green buildings. That's an initiative. So you can pick any kind of topic like this that you find particularly interesting and focus on that for your presentation. So a few recommendations about what you pick, and then I'll talk about the specifics of the presentation. Pick something you're really interested in, like spend 20 minutes looking before you pick one. Don't just Google like sustainable technologies and pick the first thing, because A, you might find out you're not really that interested in it, and B, you might run into this, which happens with a lot of people. There's not enough information out there on your technology or initiative to create a meaningful presentation. What does that mean? If it's some tiny little invention that one researcher in Michigan invented but hasn't been tested yet outside of their lab and would address maybe a really small problem like, I have a hard time thinking of small problems, only big ones, but like would only purify water in certain climactic regions and only using a battery pack or something. There's not going to be enough information on that for you to make a whole in-depth presentation on. So you will not get credit in the presentation for saying, I couldn't find anything about this on my topic. If you can't find anything about it, don't use that as your topic, okay? So in other words, you need to spend a couple minutes making sure there's enough out there on the topic you picked to do a presentation on before you sign up for that, right? And then the last point there, the third bullet point is don't do the same technology that was presented in any of the sustainability news pieces. So we have some cool things in there, right? Like what about the water in cans? We're looking for new ideas. We already saw those ideas and they were great, but this is our opportunity to expose the class to a whole fresh set of ideas. Okay, so what are the specifics of this assignment? You're going to make a presentation in PowerPoint, and you're going to give the presentation on Zoom to our class on either May 4th, 6th, or 11th. It doesn't matter which day you sign up for. All the presentations are due on May 4th by 3:30. So you can present any day you want, but you still have to hand in your presentation on May 4th. Okay. So what else about the presentation? Let's go down here where I have put a complete rubric. Do not make your presentation or do your research without referencing this rubric. This is just showing you literally how I'm going to assign the points. So your presentation should be about 10 minutes long we'll have about 2 minutes afterwards for questions. Your introduction should provide clear information about the sustainability challenge the technology is designed to address. Include statistics. For example, this new bacteria can digest plastics in ocean water. You know, currently plastics in ocean water are a major problem, and the Pacific garbage patch is bigger than the state of Texas, covering X number of square kilometers, right? So you want to show like why the challenge that the technology is addressing is a big problem that needs to be solved, right? You should also have an introduction. What's the technology called? Where was it developed or who developed it? And a clear explanation of how it works. So again, don't pick a technology that's so like you can't explain it at all to the class. So if you pick, for example, a way to transform solar energy directly into batteries in a liquid, that is a new innovation that's coming down the pipeline, but it's pretty hard to explain without an advanced knowledge of chemistry. So I'm not saying don't pick that, just make sure you understand it well enough to explain it. Where's this technology being used now? Is it just in the lab, it's just been invented? Or is it a technology that's being used like in one of the other, or an initiative that's being used in some places but not in others, like you saw in the video, the food cam? That's an initiative, right, more than a technology, and that's being used presumably just at the Google offices. So that's where it's being used now. But the next question is, how could it be scaled up? So could this technology actually be scaled up beyond the level of just the inventor? Could it be scaled up to the level of a university, or to a company, or to the level of the town or a state, right? How feasible is that? And then the last couple of requirements, so those are all the content requirements. The last couple of requirements here are more about the presentation itself. Good use of pictures and graphics, text is appropriate size. You have to communicate clearly and be able to answer questions from the audience, which will just be your classmates. And you need to have references. So keep track of your references as you research this project. So my instinct is to ask you if anyone has questions, but you can't answer me. So if you do have any questions about this, please send me an email. And if it's a question that's relevant to everybody, I can send an email back to everybody to make sure you all know the answer. So I'm really looking forward to these presentations. They won't be for another month or so, but your idea is due on Monday. So you have to go to Moodle and you have to submit a 1-sentence idea for this. And that will give me a chance to get back to you and say, yes, this works, or no, this isn't an appropriate focus. Okay, thank you all.